Freaking out, man. You can't handle the truth. You can't handle the truth.
What do all men in power want? More power.
My name is Gianluca Zanna. I was an Italian by birth, and I became an American by choice. Our lives and freedoms are in danger. This is not a drill. If you're listening to this broadcasting, you are the resistance.
All systems go.
Welcome to Love, Guns, and Freedom.
We're not afraid.
Here we go, guys and girls. Another Sunday, another show. You're listening to Love, Guns, and Freedom on K-Talks 1340 AM. And also, of course, on 104.1 FM. Don't forget also to go to the website www.lovegunsfreedom.com, and you can also listen to the show live. Now, I come from Italy, as you know, and of course my accent reminds me every time. And I remember when I was in Italy, one of the reasons why I left the country, when I realized there was no justice. Justice, it's something very important. I think it goes beyond political parties, goes beyond anything. Supposed to be impartial, supposed to be blind. That's the way also, many statutes you can see the justice supposed to be blind. What is right, what is wrong. Not because you are somebody or you have the special connections, you're supposed to have the special privilege. No way. That's why I left Italy. Because one of the definitions of tyranny, in my opinion, is the selective enforcement of the law. Yes. You can see in our life, especially here in America right now, the last few years, that my opinion, justice is dead. And don't get me wrong, I want it back. I'm not here to say just crying and say, okay, nothing we can do. No. We have first of all to admit it. We have a big problem. We are living under tyranny. And as I told you before, when you have a selective enforcement of the law, that's one of the definitions of tyranny. It's the chosen one out there, the elite, and then there are the rest of us, the slaves. They will throw the book at us for the minimal little thing. This happens on every way, in anything. From, your seatbelt you don't put together or whatever. You're just breaking some of the laws. Now, where I'm going with this? You know very well my position about former candidate, U.S. presidential candidate, Hillary Clinton. And the sad thing is, this woman right now, she should be facing at least a trial. Anybody else out there would have been at least facing a trial. Okay? That's a fact. I wanted to give to President Trump the opportunity to get in office and start to at least, really give us a chance to bring back justice. Everybody knows, even my dogs, even my chickens, even a guy with an accent like me who didn't go to school here understands that laws that were allegedly broken. Why I say allegedly? Because still deserve a trial, for sure. But the point, no trial on the way. And anybody I know that could have done at least a tenth or let's say a fraction of what Hillary Clinton did, right now, forget about facing trial. Already probably we've been spending years in jail. The trial will be already ended. That's exactly what happened and what's happening to a man that I heard during the time of the elections, Mr. Khristian Saucier is a U.S. Navy veteran, but also is was in active duty with an incredible record. And for a really, and now we will go through with his attorney, let's say a very little, in my opinion, infraction, that now this man has his life ruined, his family ruined, something that compared to Hillary Clinton, this guy is not a Boy Scout, this guy is a hero anyway. My point is, we have right now exactly what I'm talking about, a selective enforcement of the law. Now, this I want to be sure, this is not a Republican or Democrat topic. I have no party allegiance. My only allegiance is to the Republic and its Constitution. This is the oath I took when I became a naturalized American. So I'm not here to try to pander Republicans or Democrats, bash down Democrats. I don't care. in this interview, you will listen, in my opinion, what exactly is going on. And more important, I would like to bring attention to both people from both parties, because we all have responsibilities here to do our duty as Americans to start to bring justice back. If you're a Republican, in my opinion, you should start to pay a lot of attention here, because you have a job to do after this interview is done. Calling your president, our president, especially because you voted for him. And he counted on your support to bring some justice, not just to get Hillary under let's say, some real trial, some real charges, but more important, to bring justice to this man. Right now, Mr. Khristian Saucier is living like an outlaw. It is being declared an outlaw. It's being found guilty and criminal. But let me shut up. Let me bring here the man who's trying to defend his honor and defend also his life and his reputation, and he's putting his time pro bono for this cause. Is his lawyer. His name is Ronald Daigle Jr. Ronald, are you there?
Yes, I'm here, and I love the American accent.
What did you say, Ronald? I'm sorry, I lost you.
I said I love your American accent.
Oh, thank you. You know, I have an accent from Kentucky, as you can hear it.
Yes, I love it. It's an American accent, and I love it. That's great.
Thank you, Mr. Daigle, Ronald. Listen, I want to give you the floor. First of all, I would like to briefly introduce yourself because you're an interesting man, and I want to give, this is also a human case. You took this case pro bono. You're not just a regular lawyer. You're a lawyer that also you were in the same type of, commitment as Mr. Saucier is, and he was. You're a veteran yourself. So please introduce a little bit yourself, and then we will talk about the case, what's really happening with Mr. Khristian Saucier. Go ahead.
Okay. Thank you very much, first of all. Thank you very much for having me. I really appreciate it, and I appreciate any chance we get to talk about this case, because as you know, pardons are very much political, and very little bit of it is legal. So I appreciate the opportunity. My name is Ronald Daigle. I have 21 years in law enforcement experience. I left that career to become a lawyer. I joined the military when I was 27. I joined the Navy Reserves. And, so it's 1 weekend a month, 2 weeks a year for the most part. But then after 9/11 hit, of course, there was no such thing as reserves. So I was activated and sent to Iraq. And over in Iraq, I want to tell you about this part, because over in Iraq, my job was a customs officer, and I would search everybody coming here back to the country, all the military personnel.
Wow.
We would search all their belongings and take all their pictures and all that stuff, because it was all classified information. So what we would do is we would search them and take their pictures from them and destroy them for them. No charges, nothing like that. Everybody was just basically said, don't do it again, now get home.
Wow.
So that's part of my background, pretty much. I mean, I've got a criminal background as a police officer for 21 years, and then I went into criminal defense. I flipped sides, and I can tell you right now, shows like this are so important, because, boy, our rights are being infringed upon every day. And I'm so excited to talk about this case, because it highlights a two-tiered justice system, whereas if you have money and power and influence, you can get away like Hillary Clinton. But if you don't, you wind up like my client, Khristian Saucier, who they took and made an example out of.
Exactly. And this is exactly during the election what I was talking about, before even I knew, of course, the details of your case and Mr. Saucier. But I read the headlines, and I said, this is so sad, the fact that this, as I said, this is not a political issue anymore, because I don't care about parties. I care about what is right and what is wrong. And when you see all this on the open right now, they don't care anymore even to hide it. And they go pretty much what they're saying. And so what are you going to do? And they just, American people say, now they post on Facebook, and so what? The reality is that we are not living anymore in a country, under the rule of law. We are living right now a country pretty much that the rule of law, in my opinion, and according to facts, is selectively enforced. So it is a vital topic, this one, when it comes down to freedom, and to have a country that is not a banana republic anymore, but it's a real republic. Now, first of all, I wanted to ask you, let's go a little bit into explaining the situation. What exactly happened to Mr. Khristian Saucier, what exactly was his rank when he was in the Navy, and what he did so terrible that the U.S. government pretty much had to throw the book at him.
Okay, so Khristian Saucier he's a career sailor. He joined out of high school. He'd always wanted to be in the Navy and always wanted to serve his country. So he was in the Navy for a number of years. I think his rank at the time was an E3, a third-class petty officer. When he took a few photographs back in 2009, he took some photographs on a sub to show his daughter, who was going to be coming into this world. He wanted to show her where he worked. So he took six total photographs of the submarine. And it was on a flip phone, and flip phones were allowed on a submarine back then, so there was no violation for having his flip phone, just for taking those pictures that he took. And he had two other friends that took pictures. Now, everybody got caught but Khristian. His two friends got caught taking pictures, and they got in trouble for it. So they had to pay a fine, and they got busted down in rank. So it was just strictly an in-house military operation, and his commander, I guess, basically said, if you have any more pictures, go and destroy them. Everybody, I want them all destroyed.
Okay.
That's basically what he said. So now, fast forward from 2009 to 2013. Khristian Saucier had this cell phone with these pictures on it that he'd forgotten about, and so now we're from 2009 to 2013. And he throws that cell phone away, and it winds up in a dump somewhere where somebody picked it up and thought, well, this looks like a cell phone, maybe I'll use it. And they charged it up and saw these pictures on it and reported it. You know, they said, oh, it looks like military pictures. So they took it to a military person that they knew, and the military person said, I don't know, these look like they could be, photographs of a military ship. I'll bring them to NCIS. When they brought him to NCIS started an investigation.
Wow.
And NCIS went to the FBI, and the FBI started an investigation because they thought at that point they were working on a Russian spy case, so they thought he was a Russian spy.
Wow.
So they put out a surveillance package on him. They followed him everywhere. They collected all kinds of evidence. They did search warrants on his houses, everything for these 6 photographs. And so if you want to see the cleanest sailor in history, he's got to be clean, because, trust me, they threw the book at him. If that's all they could find was 6 photographs, he's got to be a pretty clean guy. Now, in 2013, when he was in fact arrested, he was a first-class petty officer. He'd already been promoted to first-class petty officer, and he was really ready up for the rank of chief. So he was promoted so fast because of his stellar performance that he was really up for chief at this point.
And I have a question. If I can interrupt you 1 second. These photos, I'm sure they somehow hit the media, I believe. I mean, they've been released somewhere, I think on Facebook. I saw something like that. Is it true or not?
Yes, it is true. All the photos have been declassified and released. I
mean, so really, and the photo that I saw, that I really believe that the one that they were part of this case, I mean, there was no any type of sensitive information. It's not like they were showing, I don't know, some special weapon or some special piece of engineering. My opinion seemed like pretty standard photos that probably you can almost find in some, I don't know, technical books. Am I right or wrong?
Oh, you're 100% right. These photos were just very bland photos. They were just photos of the inside. They didn't zoom in on any part of the submarine. They didn't show any specific instrumentations. None of that. There's not even an accusation that that's what they showed. So no, you're right. You're 100% right. These pictures are all available on the internet now.
Exactly, and this is exactly my point. What type of there was a trial and there was a sentence. What type of final judgment this man is facing right now?
They convicted him of a felony, and they sent him to prison for 1 year. So he's in prison now.
Okay, there was a sound. 1 second. This is something strange. I'm just to let you know, just my paranoia. But every time I have sensitive, let's say, interviews, the line starts to shake, the internet starts to slow down. I don't know. So let's say again, it was a felony, I guess, right? Because the word gets cut off.
Yes, it was a felony. He was convicted of a felony, and he could have faced 10 years in prison, but they sentenced him to 1 year in prison.
Well,
For these 6 photographs.
how nice of them. That was very kind, and I've been sarcastic
Yeah,
here. You know,
that's right. How nice.
yeah. Let me specify exactly what it means. First of all, it is not just the 1 year fact, but for somebody like Mr. Saucier that is a professional and also he was doing this for really as a career, his life is ruined. I mean, when he's going to finish this sentence, he's going to have a felony on his back. Probably going to have a hard time to find a job. And more important, not have any type of benefits. And all the hard work he put in 10 years in the Navy, I think the benefits are gone. Correct me if I'm wrong.
Oh, you're 100% right. Benefits are gone. He will have no benefits, and he will have a very tough time finding a job. He's like a mechanical engineer in the Navy, so it should be very easy to find a job on the outside, except for the felony conviction. I mean, normally people would be grabbing somebody with his skills because he's very skilled at what he does. They would be grabbing him right up and hiring him, but because he's a convicted felon, he'll be lucky to get a job that pays $10 an hour.
Yeah, this is exactly the point now I would like to remind everybody. This is not like a partisan issue. I don't care which party you are. I hope you are no party at all out there. We believe in justice. That's what we should believe. If we believe in justice, in our Constitution, and the right and wrong concept, that's all we should be worried right now. That's why sometimes I feel very sad when I see from both sides, nobody wants to talk bad about their guy. Let's start to talk with the guy right now that is in charge, okay? President Trump. First of all, I remember during the elections, during the campaign, I think it was on Fox News, President Trump was brought up, they brought him up, I think, this topic of Mr. Saucier. And he said that he wanted to do something about it. And also I realized that lately he did some, in one of his latest trips to Saudi Arabia, I guess, or somewhere overseas, in a very, good PR move, he was able to say that in few minutes he was able to free some, political prisoners or somebody overseas. What exactly has been doing President Trump since being elected to fulfill at least his commitment that it seems like he said before the election to try to free Mr. Saucier?
That's true. Before the election and during the campaign, he was on the campaign stump, and he constantly mentioned my client's case, and he would get the crowd juiced up, and he would talk about my client and what an injustice this case is, and how sad this case is, that he was put in prison for a year for 6 photographs, and he repeated that over and over. So I was hoping that now that he's president, now that he would basically do something to correct this injustice, that he has pointed it out even from before the election and after the election with interviews on Fox News. Like you said, Sean Hannity asked him, are you going to do something about Khristian Saucier? And he said yes, he was going to look into that matter.
Yeah, I mean,
but,
this is...
Also, the vice president was asked. The vice president was asked specifically, are you familiar with this case? He said, yes, we plan on doing something about it.
Wow.
So they claim that they're going to do something about it. We just have not seen that yet.
Yeah, I mean, this is not like I'm spending an extra day at a recreation park, okay? It's still called a military prison. Am I right or wrong? I mean...
Oh, you're exactly right. He's in there with some bad guys. I mean, this kid is not... my client, Khristian Saucier, is not prison material at all.
Yeah.
He's very small in stature, very mild-mannered individual, and very meek. He doesn't belong in prison, not one day. And one day, you're right, this has altered his entire life. He has lost everything because, he's had to pay for attorney's fees and stuff like that.
Wow.
His wife is trying to survive outside on her own, just with her and her baby. Her and his child, his 2-year-old child, they're trying to survive as best they can.
Oh, this is very sad.
Themselves.
Exactly. And this is, is not just, as I said, I would like for a moment for people out there, even for the president and vice president, they're having a great life after all, to face the reality, even just 24 hours in a cage, surrounded by people that honestly, if you are not one of them, it is not going to be pretty. Let's put it this way. But also think about every day as a human being, think about the other side, your family, being alone, being defenseless, being without even the, monetary support. I mean, this is a drama. Sometimes we are so almost cynical to think, everything just a number. Just because it doesn't apply to us, we don't really care. This is like something, an emotional drama. I believe it's like or beyond comprehension until comes to you, happens to you. So I really want to hope. I would like to hope that all the people out there, right now listening, regardless which party, but especially if you voted for President Trump. And you can find this on video on YouTube, you just dig it out. I mean, President Trump, he was public about this situation. And more important, he could do this, fix this in a second. He doesn't need to wait another 6 months, okay? It needs to be done now. Because I tell you, at this point, any hour, it's too much. And also to bring some justice, the next step would be he needs to fulfill his oath out of office to enforce also the laws of this country. We have a new attorney general here. Where is he now when it comes down to at least, start to create a real case to expose and press charges against Hillary Clinton that she's walking around like nothing happened? I mean, think about it. And I don't want to spend too much on her about her right now because we talk enough about it and mainstream media have been talking enough. And I feel sorry for you Democrats who still try to defend her because, or you're really stupid out there or you're under some sort of a spell. In both cases, you got to wake up because this is ridiculous. It's disgusting that you keep defending and you want to bring it out, the other side corruption. I don't care which corruption. Evil is not going to fix more evil. We got to stop this. And this is our duty if things are bad in this country because it's our duty that we do not fulfill our duty to start to speak up. So right now I would like to say everybody, one thing that I'm sure, I hope, you agree with me. We should call President Trump right now, regardless of the parties. And, of course, take the time to investigate more about this case. And I will give you also now a website. But then demand President Trump to fulfill his commitment to free Mr. Khristian Saucier. Which website would you like to share, if you have any, where people and listeners can learn more about Khristian Saucier?
At Free Chris Saucier. It's at Facebook, Free Chris Saucier.
Okay. And I will put also a link on lovegunsfreedom.com. And after you learn about this case, I think would be the normal human thing to at least start to put your voice out, call President Trump, send an email to the White House. People say it's a waste of time. It's not. When you have millions of us, at this point, they need to start to pay a little attention. At least we must try. Now, second step, I would like to say, also send another email and say, press charges against the evil, woman that she's supposed to be right now facing charges like everybody else called Hillary Clinton. That's the second step. But now let's focus on Khristian Saucier. Any other thing would you like to add? Something I forgot. I'm sure there is something out there.
I'm sure there's so much that we've been through on this case. Just keep, if we could, you're right, that we need to make everybody aware, and we need to constantly barrage the White House with phone calls, and we send out mailers as much as we can, and we hope that they're reaching the right people, but we mail them as often as we can. So that's what we're asking people to do. Please go on the website, look this case up and read for yourself. These are all facts that I'm giving you. None of these are opinions. I mean, this guy honestly did take 6 photographs of a sub, and he's in prison for it, for something that is just absolutely absurd. It's such an injustice that it does transcend politics, like you say. Politics really should have nothing to do with this case. It just means justice, and this guy was just deprived justice all the way through the system.
Yeah, and another thing, you took this case pro bono. That means you're not even getting paid. It's not like you're doing this to make a buck. I mean, you must have studied this case. You must have felt for this case. Am I right or wrong?
Oh, you're exactly right. I spend my money on this case because I feel it is such an injustice that that it's been my passion now to try to get this person freed and try to get this injustice corrected. I think in your lifetime you only have one case that you can, or one thing that you could really make a difference on, and to me this was my case. This was a case where I grabbed onto it and said, boy, the facts are here. I really think this is a case I can help somebody out with, and I really think that this guy deserves to be free.
This is very important. As I said, the show is called Love, Guns, and Freedom. And what I'm trying to do here is not just about freedom itself, but it's also a little bit of love for our fellow humans, in this case, fellow American. And people, say, oh, I have enough problems. Guess what? Tomorrow could be your son. Tomorrow could be your daughter. When justice is dead in this country, he's going to be, they don't care who's going to be next. The only point is not going to be them. But any one of us, we will live like in a new state of terror, that you don't worry about anymore the laws, because there are no more laws. The law's going to be just what really they will try to throw at us. That's the bottom line. We got to reinstate justice. And how we do that, one case at a time. We need to stop evil one case at a time. And as I said, sometimes we feel little, small, we're just regular people. That's fine. But you have the moral obligation, in my opinion, to at least to make your voice heard. And there is nothing really cost you here. Even the phone call is free. It's on our tax dollar after all. Call the White House. Let's start with that. Call Vice President. Call your congressman. Seriously, even if it's useless, he must hear from you. Okay? That's the bottom line. There is a man and a family really in peril, that their life is destroyed. And this is beyond spending 1 year in the cage. There is also the aftermath that's even worse, in my opinion. Now, talking about spending 1 year in the cage, I'm sure you meet Chris pretty regularly. Anything that is worth to share, maybe some episode of what I don't know how the prison is acting. Are they treat him like a regular guy, or they give him an extra hardship, or there's some sort of conspiracy out there? Anything happened to him that we should know?
Well, you should know that the inmates in there really treat him with great respect. It's amazing how much respect they give him, because they feel that he was unjustly convicted and that he doesn't belong there. So they treat him actually very well just because of that reason alone. I visit him frequently. He has a good attitude. He's very upbeat. But, he's certainly looking forward to getting out and trying to start his life over again. His wife and his daughter is 2 years old now. He's missed a lot of benchmarks in her little life, So, when you're 2 years old, so now more than half her life, her daddy's been locked up in prison.
Yeah. As I said. And anything regarding this is a military prison. Am I right or wrong?
It is. It's not a military prison.
No?
It's a federal prison. So there's federal inmates from all over the country there.
Oh my God, even worse, my opinion. Because I don't know, but it sounds like, and is it a private prison or federal prison? Because, there are a lot of private prisons now that they are called federal prison, but they are privately owned. What is this?
Right. No, this is run by the federal government. It's where they put all their, whatever inmates they deem should belong there in Massachusetts.
Wow. Interesting. Well, listen, any phone number or beside the website, a way to contact you, people want to donate something or anything they can help, go ahead. I give you the floor.
If you go to @FreeChrisSaucier on Facebook, you'll see all of our pages there. You can see where you can donate to the cause to help Sadie and her young daughter make it through for the next couple months. And you can see, and my phone number is 518-527-4945, 518-527-4945. And if there's any assistance that you can give, please give me a call. I'd be more than grateful for anything you can help us with.
Perfect. This was Mr. Ronald Daigle Jr. is the attorney pro bono for Navy, not veteran because he's still in active duty. At least was in active duty. And this poor guy, Chris Saucier, that you heard this story. As I said, now it's up to you. Whatever you want to do, don't forget you have a chance too. We all have a chance. At least try to do our best. You're listening to Love, Guns, and Freedom with Luca Zanna. This is the first hour. Do not go away. We have more important information. And of course, with that, we will go with other interesting interviews. Do not go away.
Hey, you. Yes, I'm talking to you. You deserve a break. Enjoy a moment of indulgence. It's time for Zanna Coffee. Guilt-free pleasure. Zanna Coffee is the organic coffee to amplify your senses and enhance love for life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. Only the best organic and GMO-free coffee beans from around the world that I selected. Zanna Coffee brings you happiness in every cup. Fair trade certified, sustainable organic coffee. That means we do not use slaves. Free Zanna songs with every coffee bag. Find Zanna Coffee at www.zannacoffee.com. www.zannacoffee.com. Get your coffee bag now. Don't be cheap. Life is too short and you deserve the best. Zanna Coffee.
Let's get more on this now from our senior justice correspondent Pierre Thomas and former FBI special agent and ABC News consultant Brad Garrett. Welcome to you both. And Pierre, let's begin. Authorities also doing a lot to track down his weapons.
Yeah, George, good morning. Because Hodgkinson apparently had no felony convictions, he bought the weapons recovered in the shooting legally in Illinois. Sources tell us the primary weapon used in the shooting is a SKS assault-style rifle. Police also recovered a Smith & Wesson 9mm pistol. Not clear if that was used in the attempted massacre. The suspect also owned a shotgun. He apparently obtained a permit to carry a concealed weapon in the last 2 months or so, George.
And Brad, the profile of Hodgkinson filling in pretty quickly.
Exactly, George. A guy that's basically going downhill, that everything is not working in life. And what happens is, when that happens, people then tend to externalize their anger that turns to rage. And then they can justify in their own mind to go harm the people they perceive cause them their grief.
And a lot of these angry political posts directed at President Trump, directed at Steve Scalise, directed at Republicans generally, but no threats in there. So was there anything the FBI, Secret Service, anyone could have done ahead of time to stop this?
I don't think so, George. I mean, the First Amendment is going to carry him through. If he'd made specific threats that he was going to go actually harm the president or somebody in Congress or anyone, then someone could have moved on him. But short of that, you can pretty much say what you want to say.
And Pierre, a lot of questions now about congressional security. We know that because Steve Scalise was a member of the leadership, he had a security detail there, and they made a huge difference yesterday. But now questions again about what rank and file members need.
Yeah, one thing we heard from the congressman yesterday is that it's typically only the leadership that gets a security detail when they're outside the grounds of the Capitol. Some said if it had not been for that detail, it would have been much, much worse. I think we're now going to see congressmen consider expanding security when they're congregating outside of Capitol Hill, leaders in the group or not. Clearly, they are targeted, especially in this region, where we've seen a series of unstable people showing up to either the Capitol or the White House, doing everything from committing suicide or pulling out weapons, George.
Big problem, Pierre Thomas. Brad Garrett, thanks very much.
Okay, guys and girls, you're listening to Love, Guns, and Freedom. We'll look at Zanna on K-Talks 1340 AM. I wanted to play this little brief clip from the ABC News, fake news. First of all, I'm still in shock about what you just heard the interview before. To think that we have two set of laws. We have two set of rule of laws. There is not even anything close to a rule of law anymore. This is called complete tyranny. That's where we are right now. So the point is, this is very disturbing. Why? It's all connected, in my opinion. First of all, we don't have any more a rule of law in this country. There is just us, the slaves. They throw the book at us. You can see that. I'll show it to you. The guy that we have rotting in jail, our Navy veterans, not even a veteran anymore. Now he's going to be completely a felon for the rest of his life. Mr. Khristian Saucier, we spoke with his lawyer, just because he took a couple of photos inside a submarine. There was not classified any type of details, nothing. Innocent mistake could be easily fixed with a fine or anything. No, they threw the book at him. Meanwhile, we have, of course, the Hillarys of the world. It is not just Hillary, by the way. There are many politicians out there that they pretty much have a look. You want to talk about other situations similar to classified information? General Petraeus, he just got a slap on his hand, a fine, and he was gone. Little guy like Mr. Saucier, bang, felons, time in jail, life destroyed. Now, I'm bringing this situation of this shooting. There wasn't a shooting. It was an act of terrorism, my opinion. This is what I call terrorism, when you have somebody that has political ideas that he was trying to impose on others with force, violence, and terror. James Hodgkinson, whatever it's called, who shoot Congressman Steve Scalise in Italian, and other congressmen. I mean, he shoot everybody. He was shooting everybody he could. But of course, the aim was the Republicans. Now, I'm not a fan of any party. I don't care. But I'm sure for sure I am no fan, and I despise anybody who uses violence to advance a political agenda. Okay? If you want to go to use violence, go on a battlefield, and that's different. Defend your life, that's different. But when you go as a coward, because by the way, your political ideas suck, by the way, you socialist piece of crap, tax the rich, steal other people, and you are frustrated because maybe you are a loser in your life, or maybe because things don't go right. I understand, not every time things go right. You don't need to take that on others. You don't need to point your failure and try to point it to others. Could be politicians or the rich. The point is, the rich had to work for their money. Good for them. The socialist, propaganda that is like a cancer infiltrating the mind and the hearts of our the youth, and also this guy that is not a young anymore. I mean, he's like over middle age, a senior right now, for what I understand. The point is, this is very seriously danger. This is how, tyranny started in many parts of the world. Remember, Mao Zedong said, you can get political influence through to the barrel of your guns. I'm just paraphrasing it. That's what they're trying to do here. The point is, I don't care which agenda, right or wrong, you do not use violence against others, unless for self-defense, unless they come and try to harm you, or even try to get your property, or do things on your body that you don't want. That's different. But what he did, this piece of crap, it's beyond belief. And honestly, I'm not surprised. I'm not surprised because unfortunately, this case, as much as I hate the left and right name, but it's true, the left, what used to be the Democratic Party, now it is no more the Democratic Party. It became an extremist party under the control of, let's say, globalist agendas, and they will try, they are manipulating them towards violence. I mean, I'm proud of people like Ronald McDonald, a man who's been Democrat for 50 years. He ran for Senate for the California state. And he said in my last show, I said, I cannot be any more part of this party. This is not the Democratic Party that I signed for. Now, this is a bunch of extremist bastards looking for violence, looking for destroy, the sovereignty of this country, and also to steal our money from others. I mean, think about it. Even we go into the fact of violence as shooting somebody, but when government, somebody like Bernie Sanders or any supporter like that, believes that it's okay to tax through government, legally stealing, because that's what it is, it's a legal theft. You, as an individual, because you are successful, because maybe you work harder than other people, maybe because you are smarter, whatever it is, it's your freaking money. And now you jealous pricks out there, you want to tax 80, 70, 60, whatever you decide. You decide how much I can keep of my money. Really? Screw you, Bernie Sanders. Screw you, socialist pigs. That's the point. Taxation is theft. That's the bottom line. People say, we need taxes for services. Guess what? I don't care what you need. I care that you don't force others legally stealing, because in this concept, you can pretty much create a new type of slavery. Think about it. If I tax you 100%, how do you call yourself? Freaking slave. Yes, you are. 100% you work for free. That's exactly what a slave did. But you got free, of course, I'll take care of you. Give you free insurance, I give you free housing, I give you free food. After all, you're my freaking slave, I need to take care of you. So 100%, do we agree or not that you're a slave? Yes, you are. Now, when in countries like, for example, France or Italy or Sweden, and there are many other countries out there, they start to tax you between 85-90% like in France. What do you call yourself? 90% slave and 10% free, right? Yes, you are. Think about it. Just use the logic. Forget about me that I'm a little irritated. Maybe you may hate me because, I don't play your socialist bullcrap. I come from Italy, a socialist country, and I despise socialism, for God's sake. I hate you with my guts, you socialist pigs. That's why I left Italy. For socialist and communist pigs. Because that's what you are, cowards who hide behind the government because you are not man enough. You don't have enough balls to go out and steal from others. I have more respect for thieves, for God's sake. You come out in front of me with a gun and say, give me your money. I have respect for you. At least you risk your life because probably you're going to get a bullet between your eyes. And we can sort it out as men. No, when you're a socialist, you're a coward, baby cry, daddy, daddy, government, go get this money, go get her money. Because I'm a loser, I want this money. Screw you. I'm pretty harsh about this, I know. I have a lot of bad memories. That's why I left Italy. That's why I hate socialism and communism. The difference is very simple. Socialism, they steal your life by the vote. Communism, they come with the guns. But it's still the same. Think about it. And all starts with democracy. Yes, democracy. Oh, we are democracy. We are democracy. Democracy what, idiots? Democracy means that 51% of the losers out there can dictate your life. And they will decide how much money you can keep in your pocket. After all, the majority rules. Screw you. I'm an individual. That's why this is supposed to be a republic. Where everybody's right and property is supposed to be defended by the 51% losers out there. I know, I'm losing it a little bit. I'm sorry. I really mean it. This is not a joke. That's why I'm fearing because, not for me, but for really what's going to happen the next few years for who comes after us. Because idiots like this piece of crap coward, James Oddington may rot in hell, wherever he is. They really think they are somehow justified to use violence for the common good. After all, this is the next level. It's called communism. As I said, Bernie will go there with the law to steal your money. And of course, if you don't pay your taxes or if you don't pay your 90% income tax or property tax, whatever it's going to be, they will come with guns anyway. Don't worry. But this is the evolution. Start with democracy. Then you have socialism. Then you have communism. That doesn't mean that it's different from fascism. It's the same. State is your God. You, as individual, you are less than zero. That's the bottom line. So, James Oddington, may you rot in hell. And people say, oh, you're not a good Christian. I don't give a crap. I believe people like him deserve hell. Yes, I do. Because first of all, you're a loser. You cannot even engage with your First Amendment, with your political system that we have. I know it's corrupted. I understand you're frustrated because Hillary is a thief and she also stole the election from you. I understand all that. But you don't go start killing innocents out there. That's for sure. Now, what I was playing that little segment of that useless ABC News, just to show you how prepare the propaganda is ready to go. Assault weapon, assault rifle. Idiots, that was an SKS. Okay, SKS, 10 rounds magazine, fixed stock, no pistol grip, semi-automatic. Even if it was an AR-15 semi-automatic with pistol grip, it still is not an assault weapon because that would be by definition something with a selective fire. These are all selective fire, they are not. These are just semi-automatic weapons. Okay? Even a freaking immigrant like myself can understand that, for God's sake. So anyway, it was just an old-fashioned SKS that you can buy. It's 10 rounds magazine. Even in California you can buy. Think about it. Okay? But guess what? As I said, let's prove the points. It is not the weapon. It is not the guns. It's the mind behind. You can have a bazooka. It's still there. It doesn't move. It doesn't shoot on its own. You can have a full automatic weapon. It doesn't matter. It's still there. But if you are behind that gun, evil person, All you need is even a slingshot. That can hurt. Yes, it will be used against you. So, the propaganda starts. They're going to start to, of course, recreate this gun control hysteria. I don't think we're getting there yet, thank God. Hopefully, at least this Trump and Congress, as much as it's useless, even the Republicans, at least when it comes down to Second Amendment, maybe one thing they will try to keep together for now. But I'm telling you, please, don't go into the spiral of violence. And I tell you something, people say, there are crazy people in both sides. I agree, don't get me wrong. I never want to, let's say, condemn an individual, a collective group of people for the, let's say, faults of an individual. Otherwise, we would fall in what the left are doing. Because that's what the left are doing. And we should use sometimes the logic. Oh, somebody used a rifle to commit a crime, let's ban all the guns. No, that's not a way to do it. If somebody tomorrow commits an accident or is drunken driving, I'm not going to ban all the cars. Are you kidding me? Idiots. You just punish the person who broke the law. That's it. If you really want to use this logic, this democratic or this leftist stupid logic, because somebody commits a crime with a gun, we need to ban all guns. Guess what? Now we should ban all Bernie Sanders supporters to having guns. Am I right or wrong? I'm using your logic, morons. People say, you're harsh. You know what? I'm irritated. Yes, I am. Because I really feel in this country, from what's supposed to be a country that when you come to this country, I remember still myself, when I had to sign the paperwork on the airplane and at the embassy. Do you support the Communist Party? Are you a member of the Communist Party? No. Now, they give you a medal if you are a communist in this country. After 8 years of Obama, we have communists in everywhere, not just in position of office and power and bureaucrats and politicians. But what scares the most about me, the average American is getting to this mindset that it's okay to steal from others for the common good. You pieces of cowards. This is called theft. If you want to steal, grow some balls and go do it and risk the consequences. Do not use government to steal from others or what not is yours. Okay? People say, how do we support the system? Guess what? There are different ways to support the system. First of all, let's reduce the size of government. First of all, let's stop all these illegal wars around the world. Even Trump failed us completely. We're going around bombing the crap more soldiers out there. You say, oh, Syria's not our business. Guess what? More billions, more trillions. You want to stop the debt? Shut down the Federal Reserve that is private, for God's sake. Every time they print a dollar, these bastards, is a dollar of debt. We could, as a nation, like we used to, print our own currency. So we don't need to go in debt with a private cartel of bankers. Think about it. That's how you start to get control of your finances, how you can start to stop income tax. That's how it used to be before 1913. Don't you remember that? Oh, I know. They don't teach you that at school anymore. For God's sake, are you kidding me? They teach you that you gotta pay your fair share as a good slave. Don't forget, you pay 100% of taxes or your income, you're a full slave. But you know what? After all, you're gonna pay just 75%. You're not that bad of a slave. You're a 3/4 slave. 75%, yeah, 3/4. That's what comes down when you pay everything. Now, people say, how can we support this country? Guess what? They have different systems. First of all, you don't need to pay your income like we used to. Pay for what you use. We used to have a different system before 1913, and we still have roads, we have soldiers, army, infrastructures, we pay politicians, we pay everything. Schools, better education for sure. So please, wake up. As Americans, wake up. Now, as I said, anybody out there who wants to use violences, shame on you. Shame on you. You will get it. You will get it. I remind you that I don't know why in Virginia only the cops had the guns, the police escorting Scalise, but in some states now, law-abiding citizens, they're getting armed and trained. That's why we're here. That's why this is Arizona. Don't pull that crap, okay? Don't pull this stuff. So bottom line, this is the bottom line. I'm sorry for Congressman Scalise, his family, and all the other people victims. I really feel. I don't care if they were Democrats. I don't care if they were whatever party. Nobody deserved that. That's the bottom line. At the same time, we gotta learn something out of this. This is just a point of an iceberg. All this propaganda started by also Obama condoning act of violence. When you have, mobs of Antifa, whatever they call themselves, and BLM, all this crap, somehow burning and shooting and destroying property, and government and president himself not condemning them and not trying to stop him, that's what happens. You start to have people that they really think is the right thing to do. After all, we are in the right. We are doing it for the common good. That's what happens. So I think this is by design. It's just one of the first symptoms, or something's coming soon. They will try to impeach Trump. I'm not saying Trump is perfect, for sure. I have a lot of things I need to talk about him. But the point is, what they're trying to do here, by design, I believe, to create this sort of a civil war scenario. They got Trump in. They know that 50% of the country or more completely disgusted what we had the last 8 years. And now, they try to set him up, or maybe it's part of the setup, maybe it's part of the game. And they will try to pull it out. So we're going to have a reaction. The left is already pretty much ready to go. Even they, of course, thank God, their training sucks. I mean, did you see these people going in the desert, shooting at 5-10 yards? They couldn't even hit a target. But you know what? And as I said, thank God, there was a statement from, I think, one of the police chief that was there, somehow reporting about Mr. James Hardingson shooting. His aim was poor. He could have made a disaster if he was a good marksman. And the sad thing, I can't believe, you have all that crowd, only few police there, when I think more important what should be citizens, all of us. It's our duty. It's our right to be armed and trained. So think about it. There's a buster like that, start to pull something like that at Walmart, when we have, for example, in Kingman, Arizona, I see pretty much probably 30% of us carry guns. But what I can see, only God knows how many concealed. Guess what? You don't last that long. We don't need to wait for the reinforcement, okay? You start to shoot at people, you're going to get shot fast. That's the point. So that's why I encourage law-abiding American to get armed, to become armed, trained. Don't just buy a gun. Train. And don't train just at the range with a paper target like you're shooting at something that doesn't shoot back. Train realistically. Find good training. Now, if you live in Arizona, in Mojave County especially, something I do is one of the things I love to do. And I'm not doing this because I need the money. I really do it because I want to fulfill the mission that I have in my heart. To train law-abiding Americans to defend themselves, to defend their lives, their property if they have to. But more important, to defend freedom and against evil bastards like him. So, start with gun safety first. You must know how to be safe. I offer free, and I say free, I don't ask you a dime, gun safety class around Arizona, especially Mojave County. Just go to www.freegunsafety.com and join me. Then I offer Arizona concealed carry permit classes. Great deals. When I can, I also give you a free class, for example, to single mothers. Now I'm doing a special for seniors. I want everybody we train, more important, knowing the laws, first of all, when you can or not pull a gun, following our state laws, understanding how it's lawful to carry a gun responsibly. Then, of course, I invite you to go to the next stage, training, handgun training, rifle training, for self-defense. That's how we fight evil, okay? Yes, there's the power of prayer. That's fine. You pray your God or your gods. That's great. It's beautiful. Pray whatever you want, wherever you want. At the same time, you're still here on planet Earth. And God say, help yourself. Okay? So start training right now. People like him, like this shooter in Virginia, is not just the only one. More calm. And by the way, I don't want to generalize, as I said before. I don't like to, try to make guilty the rest of the population just because this guy is a Bernie supporter. It means every Bernie supporter is a violent. No, I'm not. I don't play that game. I'm not like the leftists. Just because somebody shot somebody, committed a crime with the guns, every other gun owners must be responsible. No, I don't do that. At the same time, though, I must tell you, though, look at the statistics. The left lately uses violence much more than the right, or what you're going to call conservative movement. Starting from the streets, starting from all the different type of shooters out there. They shot mass murders. They're all registered Democrats. As I said, I don't condemn all the Democrats. I don't do that. But let's look. Something's going on there. There is a trend, scary trend. But let's not get scared. Let's get prepared. Now, second hour normally is going to be about guns. I have the emergency broadcast that I could not wait for next week. I beg you to listen to the second hour. And if you go to lovegunsfreedom.com, find also the YouTube, or at least find the segment, and please share with everybody. This is a disturbing interview that I had with a chemtrails activist from Tucson who is facing charges for terrorism just to post signs in public. These signs that are about waking up people about chemtrails. You may agree or not about chemtrails, that's not the issue. I don't care. But please listen to this interview. So what happened to him? If you didn't know what's happening in America, you maybe believe that this guy lives in North Korea or China. I don't even think in Russia they do these things anymore. The atrocity is being facing. Please listen to this interview, the second hour, I beg you. I do beg you. If you want to support the show, this is not socialism. We don't steal your money through government. We ask you politely. If you want to support me, that's fine. If you don't want, that's fine anyway. But I appreciate your help. Support the station, support K-Talks. Me as an independent producer, I need your help too. You can download any of my songs for just 99 cents. Just go to www.zanna.us, or maybe if you want to drink some coffee, great organic coffee, I produce it. Go to www.zannacoffee.com. ZANNA coffee.com.
It is time. Get your Arizona Concealed Carry Permit now with Arizona Concealed Carry Permit by Zanna Enterprises, LLC. Become a more responsible and educated gun owner. Carry legally concealed in 35 states. Carry permitted in restaurants where alcohol is served. Learn where and how you can legally carry a firearm in Arizona. Learn where you can use deadly force. Where can you display your gun or not for self-defense? Learn how to deal with law enforcement while carrying a firearm. Learn how to be aware of your surroundings and how to avoid a confrontation. Buy your gun without waiting for a background check. Get your Arizona Concealed Carry Permit now. Go to www.azccw.us. Go to www.azccw.us. Free for single mothers and people with disabilities.